It's been a while since I dropped this shit. Swole fam, y'all better run this up. KD, let's go. Yeah. Aye, East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, you know we don't play guys, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, you know we don't play guys, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, you know we don't play guys, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, you know we don't play guys. I'm blessed, I never said I didn't struggle. I finesse, I never said I didn't hustle. These niggas talk so loud, the way I move is subtle. I'm the ocean, but these niggas just a puddle. Ay, oh, I swear I'm delusional. These niggas ain't using me. They want my energy, ain't nothing new, this is usual. These figures confusing me. What's gotten into me? They say I'm using their cubicles. Clipping KD like some cuticles. None of this shit is excusable. Don't need a muse when I'm musical. Ay, whoa, I'm tired of saying for truth when nobody's doing it. Yeah. They're controlling the youth, agenda of fusing them, nigga. We losing them. Matter of fact, we just abusing them. That's a fact. We try to roll with a ballad act. Fucking low key with a Tesseract. They throwing smoke when they got it. Get the fuck up out your little bubble. They wanna ask how much it costs, I said it double. Gorilla beard, these niggas only rockin' stubble. The realest nigga make these bitches start to stumble. Aye, East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, you know we don't play guys, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, you know we don't play guys, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, you know we don't play guys, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, you know we don't play guys, yeah.
The following program is rated TV MANOC. It contains a big pair of nuts directly on your chin. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
This is not about freedom. I'll use my power to get them out of the way. Come on. I got hairy legs.
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia is your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
USA, greatest country in the world.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing. Testing, testicles. Ooh. Welcome, everyone, to episode 22 hundo and 63 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gamecast, mancast, pimpcast, sleevescast, and slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, busters, hustlers, and your hoes? It's your boy, Papa Swolio, back with another episode. Today's episode of the Beastcast is brought to you, is powered, is sponsored by Everesting K2 Flexin' on all you beat.
Fucking Catalina wine.
It's the fucking Catalina wine mixer.
All right, fam-wise, how are we doing? We got the Tainty Cam in full effect. Welcome to the Sunday Fun Day, Red, White, and Swole, the Q&A-ness. That's right, we are taking pure questions today on the man stream. So you can start dropping those questions in the comments down below with the hashtag AskPapaSwolio, and we will take as many as possible. Look at that sexy little Tainty boy. He is so cute. Let's get a round of applause for Rufus. You good boy. You're a good boy. If you got any questions for Rufus, you could drop those in the chat down below. Very excited to be here. It is Sunday, July 17th, and I hope you are doing well. I hope you went to the fucking gym And like I mentioned, you can start dropping those motherfucking questions in the motherfucking comments down below. Let's get into today's episode. Reminder, hit the share button. Make sure you're sharing the stream. Like, subscribe, no matter where you're watching. You can follow all the video channels, the live stream channels, find out all the podcast links. TheDailySwole.com. All that is in the show notes down below. And of course, to join the Swole fam, head on over to SwoleNormousX.com and jump on that special. Use code GTTFG to save $20 off your unlimited sign up for a limited time only. Again, GTTFG at checkout if you want to go unlimited. We have tons of programs, tons of yoga, meditation, so much more. We have, God, thousands of recipes. Go and check that out, because not only do you get access to all the programs and training, nutrition, meditation, you also get access to all the private live streams as a member. Go check out SwoleNormousX.com, because tomorrow we have our accountability meeting at 12 noon. We got new releases. We have some more shit to go down on Monday. Best way to start the week is with the Swole fam. So live call, private member Q&A, brand new releases, awesome Swole fam posts, and we'll have members coming up on stage. So fantastic time. Mondays at 12 noon, weekly accountability meetings. Just another bonus of being a member, because the Swole fam's the greatest in the fucking realm. Is it not? Is it not, Beaches? So drop in the comments down below. Would you smash today? I like this screen name. Here for the BS. What's going on? Dan, how we doing? Tyler, what's up? Elijah. TCAP, what's up? Loretta, how we doing? Let's see. Christopher, we got Heidi. Oh my goodness. Loretta again. Did I say Loretta? Kim, Ren, Lacey. Excellent. Welcome everyone to the Sunday Fun Day Q and Anus. Time to get some America. Let's bust this nut open and get today's party started. Falcon. Nailed it. Put some respect on it. Yaboosh. That's fantastic. Excellent. Hashtag Swole Privilege for a chance to win today's Swole card. Very nice. Hashtag Swole Privilege. Looking good. Looking good, Tessie. Falcon, that's a nice card. That's a nice card, Falcon. You did well. You did well. Let's get a little Tainty Boy at the buzzer. Oh, you look so good. You're such a good Tainty Boy. Good boy. All right, let's get Tessie back into her safe space. Very nice. All right, hashtag Swole Privilege for a chance to win today's Swole card. Now, let's get into those questions. Drop them in the comments down below. Hashtag Ask Papa Swolio. All right, let's get into dun. First question, Elijah. Ask Papa Swolio, what size steel club have you been using in most of your Instagram reels? 5 or 10 pounder? I recommend starting with 5 pounds. So some of them are 10, some of them are 5. I've done some videos with like a 15 or 20, but I'm not talking during those. I'm focusing on swinging that shit. All right. So that's the start one. Okay, let's see. Next question. George MT44 from Instagram. With only elastic bands exercises, can you build muscles? You can if you have elastic bands that are heavy enough, that provide the overload. So bands, kettlebells, clubs, most of these things depends on the actual movement, because sometimes you're not going to build as much muscle with some of these different apparati than if you're doing strict bodybuilding exercises. Because if you're doing focused barbell or dumbbell work, even things like bands, you're definitely targeting those specific muscles. You're not getting as much integration throughout the entire body, depending on the movement. Of course, you got squats, you got deadlifts, you have compound movements. But what I mean is, when you're using a club, you're working a lot of grip strength, but using a lot of like centrifugal force, a lot of technique. You can get pretty strong with a steel club, but you're not going to look like necessarily a bodybuilder. It's not going to distribute the amount of overload over each body part. But in my opinion, it definitely helps tremendously when you use these different types of training modalities to improve your strength training, to improve like that kind of like muscle focused training. So can you build muscle? You certainly can. You can get really heavy bands. You can get really, really high quality bands that will provide the overload, but sometimes it's hard to anchor them or to anchor yourself in order to leverage that. So for example, if you're doing a chest press with bands, if you have super heavy bands and you're leaning forward or you're on a bench, the bench might slide. If you're leaning forward, you're kind of bouncing off, you're pushing and then your body's going away. So you really need to have an amazing setup if you want to maximize the bands in all capacity. But you can put the bands around your back and do push-ups. You could definitely build muscle, but I think it depends on how you use them. It depends on the overload. Progressive overload still matters. So just because you have bands doesn't mean you're automatically going to build muscles. Same thing with barbells and dumbbells. You need to make sure the overload, the frequency, the volume, the nutrition, the sleep, all 7 pillars are still in full effect. So bands are great. Bands are great. Going back to the steel club, make sure you get a 5-pounder. Never, ever start with a 10-pound steel club. It's not smart. It's not smart. Start with a 5 pounds or less. If you're not sure, get a 2-pound or a 3-pound pair. Mama Swolio uses 4-pound club, so make sure you go light. Always go light when it comes to clubs and maces. Here for the BS. You're certainly here for the bullshit. We got a lot of it for you. Papa Swolio, what movements would you recommend for individuals trying to go the calisthenics route? I mean, start with your standard. Start with your standard bodyweight exercises. Practice yoga. Are you talking about jumping jacks and shit? Or you mean just like pull-ups, push-ups? The standard. Make sure you could do a proper push-up. Go for depth. Start increasing your range of motion. Pull-ups. All different types of pull-ups and inverted rows are fantastic. I would definitely practice mobility training, and integrate yoga and stabilization training for sure. Lacey, where do you get the headband? I believe it's in the Amazon store. Amazon. It's probably from China. It's most definitely from China. I can be quite certain of that. Under reconstruction 2020 is basketball cardio. Yep. All right, there we go. I guess that's that one. Now, the question is cardio good? I mean, it's beneficial. Your body should be able to function, but I think you're much better off lifting weights, doing mace bell or steel club or sled work and stuff like that rather than just running around. But, basketball, it's fun. I know people use it as active recovery. If you love basketball more than anything in the world, then I'm not going to tell you to stop playing it, but is that going to get you lean and ripped? And no, it's a game. It's a game. It's definitely a lot of cardio. A lot of cardio. We got a lot of cardio questions today so far. All right, Kobe the Red, cardio on rest days? Cardio on strength days? Full rest days? Just 3 questions. Kobe actually answered these questions properly on Instagram. You don't get too wordy. You don't get too verbose because you don't have that much space. I'm not a fan. I think cardio is classically, we've been talking about this for years since we started the podcast. Cardio is so overblown. People are just running, doing endless amounts of cardio. If you enjoy it, integrate it and figure out how to integrate it in your training. But it's not required to be lean. It's not required to build muscle. It's not required. And when I say cardio, you're always getting cardiovascular benefits from training, but just doing, most people run poorly. They have terrible form. They impact their heels or jacking up their body. You should be doing like sprinting. You should be doing higher intensity, shorter duration. Do sled work, do sprints, do hill sprints, do plyometrics. That's fine. There are a lot of different ways to increase your cardiovascular capacity. I prefer kettlebells and mace bells and steel clubs and sled and stuff like that. And it can be integrated as part of your warm up, but you definitely don't have to be doing. You could be doing some of these things on like an active recovery day. For example, if I'm sore, but I want to lift, I want to do stuff, I'll take out a light mace and I'll just do very, very light mace or steel club or sled work, and I'll be sweaty and I'll feel great and I'll work on my mobility rather than just sit around, just do the same repetitive movement all the time. So it depends on what your goal is. What are you trying to accomplish? Of course, if you're trying to get better to run a 10K or a 5K, then you need to practice those types of modalities. But a lot of people just are biased towards cardio thinking like, hey, I'm just going to shred. It's not how it works. It's not how it works. And when you look at people that do tons of cardio, do you want to look like that? That's the question. Do you want to look like someone who does a ton of cardio? Because people that do a ton of cardio are usually skinny fat, or they're not that lean, or they are still obese. It doesn't mean that you're going to get amazing results just because you do cardio. It's just it's such a misappropriated, I guess, focus or locus of attention when it comes to fitness. The association with fitness and health and doing cardio is fucking archaic. Nico, Papa, could I possibly use a dumbbell to do the steel club motion and get the same results? Parents say getting a steel club is ridiculous. Well, your parents are wrong. And a dumbbell to do the steel club motion? Maybe if you get the problem is it's not the same. If you get maybe a skinny dumbbell, like a 2-pounder or 3-pounder, you can mimic it. But I mean, you're not supposed to have that kind of weight in your hand. It's supposed to be distributed towards the end of the club. So your parents say getting a steel club is ridiculous. They're wrong. They don't know what they're talking about. So they can say whatever they want. They're just wrong. It's not ridiculous. It's fucking awesome. You could use a dumbbell, to a point, but it's not going to be smooth. I suppose it's better than nothing. But no, it's not ridiculous. And your parents don't know what they're talking about. Here, for the BS, Papa Swolio, recommendation for individuals stuck in a hotel with a mini fridge and a microwave. Meaning what? Recommendation for what? You didn't prepare properly. Recommendation for what? I mean, like how to cook or what to, like, what do you mean? You're stuck with a microwave and a mini fridge. Did you bring food with you? Did you prepare? Obviously not. So my recommendation is you can't go back in time and prepare properly now, can you? What's your question? What do you mean? Lacey, what I thought I remember you from Telegram. Oh, okay. This is just. Let's see here. Here for a month, nutrition. I mean, you didn't prepare. You're like, what do I recommend? I recommend you eat the food that works best for your body. Did you bring it? Did you, like, you're asking me what to do now that you're in a hotel room. It's like, you're already in the situation. You're already in the situation. So I can't tell you to go back in time and to prepare for your trip. There are a lot of things you can do. I mean, it depends on how you're traveling. So I'm going to go back to someone, let's say that they're preparing for a trip, because now that you're in that situation, you're kind of fucking trapped. You have to go to a supermarket and see what you can do. You didn't bring a hot plate. You didn't, prepare food ahead of time to bring with you, because you can cook in advance. If you're flying on a plane, you can cook your food in advance and bring it with you. You can, if you're driving, you could bring a George Foreman grill. You can get a hot plate and like a little, griddle. You can, they have coolers. Mama Swolio does this when she goes on trips. There's a cooler. You can get coolers that plug into that kind of power outlet. Not an inverter, but like, the old cigarette lighter thing, the 12 volt or whatever the heck it is in a car. You can get a cooler that actually stays cold. So you can cook food in advance, put in a cooler, and if you're driving somewhere, it'll stay cold and refrigerate. It's a refrigerated cooler, and it stays cool if you unplug it. So if you don't have a fridge, or you don't know if where you're going has a fridge, doesn't matter. You could be in someone's basement and you can actually plug it into a wall. So it has a plug and it has a car adapter. And then you can actually keep your food that you brought with you cold. And then you can heat it up as you see fit. I don't recommend a microwave, but I mean, you have it cooked already. You don't have to worry about cooking it. So you could have brought like a month worth of food, hard-boiled eggs, raw egg. You could have brought all this stuff. So I don't know if you traveled by plane, because that changes the situation slightly. But there's a lot of different strategies. I mean, the time to ask about like, hey, how do I get better with my nutrition is not once you're in the hotel room, like, oh, what do I do? It's like, now you got to fucking go figure it out. I don't know where you are, what you have access to. Maybe you have access to a supermarket and you can get individual, like, you put yourself in a tough position. Fail to prepare is preparing to fail. So just kind of hard to say. What situation are you in? Like, where are you? What are you able to do? Weston says, get a George Foreman and go buy some steaks. You can get a hot plate, you can get a pan, but again, if you fly, then you have a different type of preparation. If you flew somewhere, you can't bring everything. You can bring a lot of stuff, under the plane. You can put in a bag. You could put a hot plate in a bag. You could bring all that stuff. You just can't carry it on the plane with you. Imagine someone just like hot plating on a plane. Fucking gangster. I'm sure someone's done that before. There's a little tainty boy. Aww. All right, let's take some questions. Remember, hashtag Swole Privilege for a chance to win today's Swole card. We probably shouldn't put her back there. We should just get the flag. Let's just keep the flag going. There we go. A little America. I know. Fuck yeah! All right, we got the floating nut. Tessie, Swole Privilege. Drop in the comments down below with the hashtag Ask Papa Swole if you got questions. And of course, hashtag Swole Privilege for a chance to win today's Swole card. All right. How we doing, Beaches? Reminder for those of you that might just be tuning in now, we have our weekly accountability meeting tomorrow, July 18th at 12 noon Eastern time. So if you're new to the fam or you're new to the podcast, welcome, welcome, welcome. Make sure you're sharing the stream right now because we're taking tons of questions. So I am here for you. Whatever questions you ask, I will opt and I will prioritize live questions. But tomorrow, private Q&A for members. So tomorrow, July 18th, 12 noon, join the fam today, swolenormousx.com, and be there for the meeting tomorrow. So episode 2264 will be for members only. So make sure you join the fam today so you don't miss a single live stream. Don't miss out. Don't miss out. Don't miss out. All right, let's see here. Let's get another question. Himan Shukumar, 69. All right, let's see what we got here. I have chest imbalance. Tell me how to fix it. I have chest imbalance. Tell me how to fix it. Oh, yes, Massa. Let me just tell you how to fix it. Tell me how to fix it. Yeah, okay. Or maybe I won't. Chances are you obviously are biasing towards one side. You might have a scapula that's kind of locked up. You're not retracting properly. I would start practicing yoga and start working on symmetry. You probably have some weak muscles in your posterior rotator cuff, your rhomboids, lower traps, things like that. So I can't tell you how to fix it exactly. It depends on what the actual issue is. Tell me how to fix it. How about no? All right, Andy Kell, 81. Creatine for lean muscle mass? Question mark. Yes or no? Creatine's fine. It's not magic. It's not a steroid. It's not something that's like, wow, I take creatine, I'm going to get huge. It can help you recover a little bit faster, maybe between intense sets or intense bouts of exercise. But it's not going to be the be all or end all. It's not like you're going to take creatine and build muscle, whereas you weren't going to build muscle before. So if you're not eating properly, sleeping properly, following the 7 pillars, creatine's not going to be like a magic thing you can take. I like creatine. You get a lot in red meat, but you can also supplement with extra creatine. That's fine. 5 grams, 3 to 5 grams a day is totally fine. You don't need any fancy creatine monohydrate. Micronized creatine is totally fine. It's very cheap. It's very, very, very tested. It's not dangerous for you as long as you're doing everything else properly. But it's not going to get you huge if you're not already doing everything else already. So a lot of people think like, oh, I'm going to take creatine. I'm taking creatine and I'm not seeing results fast enough. Yeah, it's not magic. It's not magic. Ethan Shaw, Papa Swolio, when you did eat sweet potatoes, would you eat the skin or take it off? I've heard there's benefits, but also that's not good for digestion. What are your thoughts? I used to eat the skin. I used to just eat if I felt like it. I used to eat the skin, eat the whole thing. I've kind of backed off sweet potatoes. I haven't had any in a while, and I feel better without them. I feel really good without sweet potatoes, so I've kind of given up or passed off on sweet potatoes. I just haven't had a desire for them, so I prefer fruit. I've just been like slowly... with sweet potatoes and white rice and things like that, I've just been, if I feel like having it, I'll have it, but I haven't really. So I'm kind of observing the fact that I haven't had any cravings for it. And I'm just like thinking like, how come is that? Like, why? Why am I not? So I'm not having it. And I feel great. Weston, piggybacking off the travel question from here for the BS, when you fly, do you bring frozen steaks and such, or do you go shop when you land? When I used to, I haven't flown in a while. I really don't even, I'm totally fine never flying again the rest of my life. I'm not a fan of flying. I'm not a fan. I've done my fair share and the like airport shit and waiting. Like I like to be in control of my trip. I'd rather it take longer driving than have to be like at the whim of like what I can bring and all these like, you know, it depends on where you're going, but I have no interest in flying really anymore. But piggybacking off and the good thing is Mama Swolio hates flying too. So if we go somewhere, it's like, fuck it, we'll drive. And you know what's fun about driving too is it's like you enjoy the trip more, in my opinion, because you have a trip within the trip. Usually when you're going to the airport, you're flying somewhere. It's like you're on the plane and then it's like, oh my God, it's so stressful of being on the plane by finally getting there and being on everyone else's terms. If you're in the car, it's like that's part of the trip. So I'm not a fan of flying. I've done it. And then, you know, especially after all the COVID shit, I'm like, and it has nothing to do with COVID itself, but all these restrictions and people being lunatics as they are. It's like, I don't want to be a part of it. So anyway, just a side note. Some of you have to fly. I get it. Piggybacking off the travel question, do you bring frozen steaks? So I used to. It depends. It depends. If you fly, like I said, if you have, when you're a professional flyer, you don't put anything under the plane. You just you prioritize and you minimize and you just do carry-ons. But if you want to travel like that, you can bring a hot plate and you can cook your shit if you bring steaks. And you could bring all that stuff on the plane. You could bring tons of meat on the plane. Like you could bring all this stuff on the plane. A lot of people don't know you can do that. I used to bring dozens of eggs and sweet potatoes. And I used to bring so much fucking food and ground beef. I used to bring so much food on a plane. Like I used to bring like a huge canvas bag, like one of those grocery bags, like the ones that are like, hey, recycle, don't use bags, use one of these canvas like shopping bags. I used to bring those on the plane. So you can cook it in advance. You can cook it in advance and then freeze it. And then as it thaws, so it depends on what you have when you're there. If you have a refrigerator or something in your hotel room or something like that, you can just put it in there. So it really depends on how long you're going for. It depends. Like, again, these are all factors that are very important that people don't think about. You don't want to just show up and be like, okay, what do I do to eat properly? Like whatever the question was, that's not the time to figure that out. Hey, I'm in a hotel. How should I eat healthy in my nutrition? Too fucking late now. And it doesn't mean you can't find good choices, but now you're at the whim of what's near you. It's like, you can't pivot. You have to plan these fucking things in advance. So it depends on all the situation. What do you have? Where are you going? How long are you staying for? How are you traveling? All this stuff matters. All of it matters. Heidi, do you ever have brown rice? I heard it was healthier. Maybe I'm misinformed. Yeah, it's not healthier. Much more arsenic, and it's very hard to digest. I avoid brown rice. If I ever have rice, it's white rice, 1000%. Brown rice can suck a huge nut. It tastes like shit, and it digests like shit. I do not have brown rice. It's awful. Fucking hate it. I've always hated it. I remember I used to eat it a long time ago because, it's good for you. Bullshit. It was awful when I was eating it. But I ate it because you heard it was good. And this is a long time ago. It was fucking terrible. I never liked it for a reason. It was awful. I joined Unlimited today. Sarah, welcome to the fam. Welcome. I'm starting the 90-day dash. Thank you, everyone in the Telegram chat who answered my questions. Excellent, Sarah. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Pedro, what would be the most reliable, quick way to get around New York City? I was born in New York City. I didn't like the city. I never want to go back. The most reliable, quick way, probably a subway. Just don't get pushed onto the tracks. Be careful. Watch your six because New York is a savage place again. Completely. New York is like the Super Mario Brothers movie with John Leguizamo. It's like that. It's like that once they go through the dimensional portal. That's what New York City is like now. All right. DJ Adrenaline 66, Papa Swolio, what's your recommendation for a thin, small-framed guy to gain muscle at 50 years old? Same recommendation I would give a thin, small-framed guy to gain muscle at 30 years old. Follow the 7 pillars, focus on foods, cut out all the inflammatory foods, lift heavy weights, build up slowly, practice yoga, all the 7 pillars. Go to the fucking gym. Hell yeah. Start with yoga. I mean, I need more individualized approach for that, like, what your personal situation is, but same advice I would give a 30-year-old. Let's fucking go. Cerny from the Daily Swole Telegram chat, just swallowed some raw liver. How long will it last in the fridge? I got it frozen, thawed it out. Can I cut it up and refreeze or no? Yeah, I wouldn't let it thaw completely. Like when you get frozen liver, you can just like run it under some water so the outside thaws, chop it up into cubes and then freeze it, and then kind of mix it up every couple, like 5-10 minutes in the freezer. That way it doesn't stick together and you can have little cubes that you can refreeze it. It depends on how long it's been thawed for. It's not going to last as long in the freezer. How long would it last in the fridge? I mean, a few days before it starts probably to get funky, like any other kind of meat. But I refreeze it. I just thought chop it up, put it like in mason jar or like some glass container, and then you mix it up as it's freezing so it doesn't stick together, little cubes, and then you can take it out, little chunks, and then let it thaw a little bit, chew it, swallow it. Yeah, some good ideas there. I don't just let it sit in the fridge. Doesn't mean you can't. It's not going to get bad. Like if you thaw it, it's just going to be like, raw, soft liver, but as long as you're eating it promptly. The Hercules, Papa Swolio, what hair products do you use? I'm trying to get some luscious locks like that. I think, what hair products do I use? I don't wash my hair frequently. I do it every couple days because I'm in the plunge and stuff like that. There's hydrogen peroxide in there. If anything, I'll put some jojoba oil on the ends, but when it comes to my hair, I do have like a shampoo and conditioner, but it hasn't really mattered what I use. It's more about my nutrition. So a lot of people are asking like, hey, what do you put in your hair? Putting stuff in your hair is not going to make it nicer. It's all about the nutrition that you're eating that creates your fucking hair. So when people eat like shit and then it's like when people eat like garbage, have tons of like acne and, all these like psoriasis, and they try to put makeup all over it. That's defeating the purpose. Why don't you take care of your health? Your skin will be better, and then you won't need as much makeup, or you won't need like hair products. So you're not going to fix what damage you're doing to your hair from not eating healthy. So need to make sure you're eating quality foods. Need to make sure you're eating your grass-fed beef, your fats, your protein, right? Organ meats, like I said, getting quality sleep every night. That's much more important than putting stuff in your hair. That's much more important. Marky Horan. Marky, what should I do if one of my arms is slightly smaller and weaker than the other? Train it more. Train it more. There you go. That's what you should do. If you had any injuries, maybe you have some like, I don't know, neuromuscular condition that might not be firing those muscles properly, but you probably need some corrective exercise and focused attention. That way you could bring that activation back. All right, let's see. Philippe, the real me. I work at a job that's 99% manual labor, lifting a lot and squatting a lot. Do I still have to go to the fucking gym? Yeah, and I would recommend going first. Yeah, I'm guarantee you're going to be lifting a lot, squatting a lot. You mean often. You're not going to build tons of muscle and get ripped and build muscle. And yeah, you should go to the fucking gym. That's not focused exercise. That's like cardio for you. Your body's going to adapt to that very readily. You're not going to build any like noticeable muscle, maybe a little bit. But that's the kind of thing that your body adapts to, lower intensity exercise throughout the day. Lifting and doing focused training, even if it's mobility or yoga, is very important. So I would recommend doing that before you go to work. Good question. Yes. Plus that discipline to take care of your body and do it first is really important. Building that discipline is very important. All right, remember, hashtag Swole Privilege for a chance to win today's Swole card. And of course, we got a little tainty boy here, little Rufus Reeves. Let's take a few more questions. Oh, I wanted to keep them on the screen. There we go. Let's see. Jake R. Papa Swole, I've been sober off French fries. Sober off French fries. I love it. I love it. Look, if people need to talk about this like that more. I appreciate that, Jake. People need to talk about it more like an addiction that it is. Been sober off French fries. It sounds funny, but it's fucking true. People are addicted to it like alcohol. But now just noticing convinced me I made a good decision. Why do I have to convince you? I've been sober off French fries for 2 months, but I'm now just noticing. Convinced me I made a good decision. Yeah, you're not eating fried food and vegetable oils. You're noticing what? All right, it started off good and then it kind of went south. But yeah, you're doing well. That's good stuff. Let's see here. Travis Rousseau, 14. All right, let me get this. Papa Swolio, what do you do on rest days? Where's this rest muscle and how do you train it? Yow, yow, yow. Yeah. What do you do on rest days? I don't rest. I'm always training. Now, I'm not always lifting heavy, but I'm doing sauna. I'm doing cold plunge. I am doing mobility. I'm doing mace or steel club or something light for recovery. So I think rest days are a scam. I think people use rest days as an excuse to not stay disciplined, and they act like they deserve it. Like cheat meals. I deserve a cheat meal. I deserve a rest day. You should still be doing something. Doesn't mean you have to be maxing out on squats. You should still be practicing your yoga, swolga, mobility, swollen sevens, things like that. So fuck your rest days. All right, let's see. Bassman, 240, Papa Swolio, how do you do the underhand circle exercise correctly? I can't explain it just with words, but watch the videos and copy what I do. We have a masterclass inside Swolenormous X for members. If you are a member, go check out the masterclass section. Posted that recently, so go and check out the latest masterclass for how to do an underhand circle. TCAP, Papa Swolio, I'm in the best shape of my life, and I got people that think I'm sick or telling I'm going too far with this. Do we live in a bizarro world? I don't understand. I'm just doing things right. No, we don't live in a bizarro world. We live in a world of fucking victims and excuses. So most people are going to be pushing back on you for doing something that they know that deep down that they should be doing. Most people are just trying to stay the same. They don't want anyone else excelling. They don't want anyone else doing what they're not doing. And it's not something that they're consciously thinking of, but they feel violated or they feel threatened by you stepping outside your comfort zone because they know that they're not doing it. So they all of a sudden feel like, oh my God, am I inferior? This person's going to be better than me. It's not necessarily conscious. It's this, under the surface fear and anxiety for something that's different, for something that's uncomfortable. And they see you doing it and they feel threatened because they don't want to do it or they're scared by it. So then they hide in their shell and then give you shit for it, hoping that you stop. That way they feel better about themselves. Let's see here. All right. Let's see. Jones, 1986 UK. Papa Swolio, what program to start in Swolenormous for beginners? We would recommend the 90-Day Dash or Swole Mastery. Those are great programs to start with inside Swolenormous X. And remember, if you are interested in starting, join the fam today. We got $20 off unlimited memberships when you sign up. So check it out. Code GTTFG. That's go to the fucking gym. Code GTTFG and save $20 off your sign up for unlimited memberships. Go and check that out. SwolenormousX.com. Little tainty boy. All right, little tainty boy. Little tainty boy, tainty man. All right, so we kind of capped out on the questions from Instagram. If you have any more questions, drop that in the comments down below. Another reminder, we have our accountability meeting tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern time. July 18th, that's tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern time. And we have new releases. We'll take some private member Q&A if you weren't able to make it today. We'll take some private member Q&A tomorrow. And of course, maybe we'll have some people coming up on stage fire tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern time. And don't forget to check out the live streams this past week. We had a lot of private live streams. We had our roundtable on Thursday and we had our overtime segment on Friday. We might be doing that. It might be coming up. What we might do moving forward, we might have, it's probably only going to be one of those in the week. So next time we have a roundtable, it'll probably replace the overtime for that week. So just keep that in mind. That way we give people a chance to catch all the content, but that's probably how we're going to navigate that moving forward. But just keep that in mind as a member. But so that way we could do it more often and we can execute on these roundtables more frequently because I think it was great. It was fucking fire. But this week's overtime segment and this week's roundtable are available for members inside Swole TV. So go and check that out if you missed it this past week. If I had to pick a movie to be in, what movie would that be? I have no fucking idea, dude. One movie to be in. Like to be in a movie or to like be in that fantasy world in that movie? I have no idea. I don't spend time thinking about that shit. It's such a stupid question. I understand. It's not stupid in the sense that, it's a question. What movie would I be in? I don't know. Maybe a movie that would pay me the most money. Or you mean, would I be in like Lord of the Rings or something like that? I don't care. I don't give a, I just could not give less of a shit. Maybe Bill and Ted. Bill and Ted's excellent. All right, let's see here. Let's see. TCAP, I'll ignore the silliness and keep up the progression. It's probably for the best. Dude, fuck everyone else. Fuck everyone else. If you know what you're doing, listen, this is what's called having integrity. If you know what you're doing your shit for the right reasons, it doesn't matter what other people think. It does not matter what other people think. And it's, it does, but it doesn't. And the thing is, that's going to expose whom you should be surrounding yourself with. If you're surrounding yourself with people that are giving you shit for pursuing really quality goals, like taking better care of your health, if you have people around you that are being negative about that, then those are people that you should not be surrounding yourself with. I mean, you come first. You come first. You're the one that you should be concerned with first. You're the one that you should be concerned with first. I wouldn't want a Princess Bride. I wouldn't want to be in that movie. Rodents of Unusual Size. I don't want to be in that fucking movie.
Inconceivable! unbelievable!
I wouldn't want to be in that movie. I don't know. I don't know about that. Some of these movies are not that, like, you want to be in Harry Potter. It's like, doesn't sound like good shit's going on. I guess, we have a lot of shit going on in our world. So maybe Harry Potter is like a better battle of good and evil versus like what we have going on. I don't know. I guess there's trade-offs. But magic. Ryan, do you usually do yoga before or after lifting? Is it more beneficial doing it one way or the other? I think you have to figure that out for yourself. It depends. After a workout, you might want to do more of like a recovery flow. If you do it earlier in the day, you might want to just do a lighter yoga. So it depends. Your schedule, your flow, you might like to do a shorter kind of morning flow, like a wake me up. So if you do let's say you go in the yoga studio in Swolenormous X and you do a yoga class, like a morning flow, that's not going to wipe you out. Once you practice yoga for a while, that's going to wake you up. You're going to feel good. You're not going to be sore. You're not going to be banged up. And then you can lift later. If you're doing yoga right before lifting, maybe if it's a short class, you just kind of do it as a little bit of an activation. But for me, doing yoga, it's more of a restorative, relaxing. I'm not necessarily going to want to smash weights right after. It doesn't mean you can't do a flow that would be a nice warm up and limbering type flow that would lead into a strength training session. You might love it. But my recommendation would be to do some kind of like a recovery flow after you work out, or work out first and then later in the day or at night do yoga as a recovery, or right after and do like a yin class or something to like cool down after a workout. So for example, doing it first, I wouldn't want to do like a vinyasa, a level 2 vinyasa class before lifting. That would be wiping me out. So my recommendation when it comes to yoga and strength training is don't do a strength-based yoga, or don't do like a hardcore flow, like a vinyasa flow or vinyasa on the same day as strength training. Do more of a recovery or restorative or yin. All right, let's see. Yeah, Harry Potter's like a dystopia. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't want to be in that movie. All right, TJ, let's see. Papa, I just got my hands on some 100% grass-fed beef. Let's fucking go. America, baby. America! Grass-fed beef. All right. Hey, Pampa, just got my hands on some 100% grass-fed beef. How do you prepare it for cooking, and how do you cook it? I put salt on it, and then I put it in the pan, and I fucking eat it. Salt, and I cook in tallow. So I use Celtic sea salt or Redmond salt, and then I cook it in tallow. So what kind of beef? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't read that part. Beef heart. I'm sorry. All right.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
I skipped it. Okay. Heart. Beef heart. How do I prepare? Okay. How do I prepare it for cooking, and how do you cook? You're not going to I eat it raw. I eat the beef heart raw. So I have it like the liver. I've cut it up into little pieces, and I have it in these little mason jars in the freezer. I take some out, let it thaw, chew it a little bit, swallow it with some water. So I eat it raw. You can cook it in a bunch of different ways. It's like a steak. You just don't want to overcook it. I would recommend if you look up a recipe, I believe we have it inside the recipe archive. It's you just marinate it in balsamic vinaigrette. That's a really good way to cook beef heart because it softens it and has a nice taste. So you can cook it like a steak like that, or you can chop it up and mix it in with some ground beef. So I just eat it raw. And the reason why I do it like that is because I can get more of it more frequently. I don't have to prepare it. It's easier. A lot of times the raw food, I like the liver and the heart and the bone marrow raw, but it saves me time. I want the food in my body. I want to move on. I want to enjoy it, but I also don't want to sit there and cooking in the kitchen. I just like the fact that, hey, I can just consume it, done. So if I'm doing it, I want it the quickest way possible. So I'm just getting it in my body. Yeah. Let's see here. Let's see. Cerny, Papa Swolio, does it take very long before you notice the benefits of eating raw liver? I understand everyone is different. How long did it take Mama Swolio to notice? You notice right away. Right away. You'll probably notice in the first time you have it, or maybe in the first day or two. Like, you'll notice it if you have enough of it. I feel it right away. I feel it when I'm consuming it. I swallow. I feel great right after. But it's also psychologically great, and plus I know it's really good for me. So you also get that placebo effect too, but beef liver is fantastic. I feel it right away. I really do. I really do. TCAP, I got tallow at the house now. It's great for eggs. I may have that for lunch, actually. Tallow is great to cook. It's great to cook eggs. It's great to cook everything. I mean, everyone's different, so I'm not saying you're going to notice it immediately, but how much did you have? Did you measure it? Did you weigh it? It's a good idea to weigh the liver. That way you know how much you're consuming. Weigh it in ounces. And you can have start off with half an ounce to an ounce a day. And it's not that much liver. You're going to notice it's like a couple little bites. So you might like a little bit more. Let's see. Nick, order a second 5-pound club because I want to start doing double clubbing. What's the best way to start doubles? If you're brand new to clubbing, you might want to go lighter, 3 pounds or 2 pounds. But the best way to start doubles, going lighter. It's like double kettlebells. You don't start with the same weight. You want to drop both and go lighter because the technique, you don't want to smash your hands or smash the clubs together. So the best way is to go light and start doubles. Yeah, good for you. Tyler, would you recommend 1 meal a day for a bulking phase? Of course not. Of course not. Come on, man. You've been watching the show for a while. It's like the easiest question to answer. Of course not. You're not going to get enough calories in at one meal. No, it's ridiculous. You're going to just your stomach's going to be fucking exploding trying to down like 3,000 fucking calories. Come on. Cerny, I'll have to get a scale. Yeah, get a scale. And again, you don't have to weigh it all the time. You just need to get an idea of how much it is. So once you know, oh, that's about 2 ounces, then you know when you take it out and you put that much on a plate, you're like, it's about 2 ounces. If you get 1.7 ounces, oh my God, I'm not going to get results. You know, it's not going to work like that. Lori Lee, Papa Swolio, ask Papa Swolio, please. Oh, that is very, very proper. Lori, you're so kind.
And that's the way, I like it.
So official.
Is she on the Sunshine Band?
Papa Swolio, please. I like that. Please, sir, may I have another? You always recommend lifting heavy. Not always, but fuck yeah. How do you know it leads to great health long term? None of the centenarians were weightlifters. What do you mean? Like the people that survived that are like now? How do I know it leads to great health long term? I think there's a lot of factors. I think there are genetic factors. I think there's a lot of lifestyle factors. I'm not saying that lifting weights is going to help you live to be 120. I'm saying lifting weights is going to help you not need help to get off the fucking toilet when you're 80. So I'm much more concerned with health span rather than lifespan. I think people have it backwards. A lot of things you do isn't going to, like, do you want to live to be 110 or 100? I think the longevity focus is misappropriated. Just being alive, having your heart beating is not what I'm talking about. Most people think like, hey, I'm 50, I'm halfway through. No, you're like 2/3 of the way through. We live to be about like 75, 80, 85, maybe a little bit longer. So I want to be functional into like my 80s or 90s or however long I have. But strength is one of the number one factors for long-term health and longevity. Strength, grip strength, all these types of just strength and muscle mass. Now, having too much muscle mass and excessive muscle mass and beyond your natural limit because you're taking tons of exogenous hormones, that's a different conversation. So there are aspects of genetics that might make you predisposed to certain cancers or diseases, and that's why it's important. So people that are like, oh, but my genetics, but my thyroid, oh, it's my thyroid, or it's my genetics. It's like you might be more predisposed to having type 2 diabetes. You might be predisposed to getting, so in other words, having poor habits might exacerbate person A's condition. In other words, person A, if they're eating garbage food, let's say person A and person B are eating the same garbage food. Person A might have her genetic makeup or his or her genetic makeup, or epigenetically, in other words, like certain gene sequences are turned on and turned off based on environmental factors, might be more predisposed to having insulin resistance issues or insulin sensitivity issues. Person B might not be as predisposed to that. It doesn't mean person B can't get type 2 diabetes. It just means that given the same circumstances, type A is much more likely to deal with insulin issues or insulin sensitivity issues. Does that mean that type A, the person A can't prevent type 2 diabetes? No, it just means they have to be much more vigilant in their approach in life. That's why a lot of people make excuses, well, I just can't lose weight. I didn't. No, you just haven't done it properly. And you might be more predisposed to being morbidly obese. So you can't just be eating like chicken and salad and starving yourself and yo-yo dieting and expecting like you to have amazing results. Most people don't do it properly too, when it comes to just eating healthy overall. So health span, not lifespan. Do you want to be healthy to 80 and then lights go out? Or do you want to live to be 100 and be on medication for 40 years and be in like a nursing home and be like, Alzheimer's and all fucking jacked up? Come on, fam. And this is another thing. It's a really good question because this is why my training has adjusted. Now, my birthday's coming up in like 3 weeks and I'm going to be 39. So I'm like at the halfway point, pretty much. A midlife swole crisis. I'm just going to keep on getting fucking yoked. So is it smart for me to just like, I want to get bigger. I want to get bigger. I want to get bigger. My focus has been about mobility, maintaining my joint health. I don't want my knees to fucking hurt. I don't want my back to hurt. I don't want my shoulder to hurt. I don't want to have pain. That's much more important than whether or not I put on another pound of muscle or whether my body fat percentage drops another 0.5%. That's fucking worthless. These are worthless metrics to pay attention to. Body fat percentage. When you're around a certain point, it doesn't matter. Like where I'm at right now, if I get a little bit leaner, does that mean I'm healthier? No. Like I'm at a place where that's not an issue. That's not going to be anything that's going to benefit my health. So I want to make sure that I am moving properly, strength through a full range of motion. So that has to do with maintaining strength training, but not fucking trying to go heavier, not trying to keep on more. My training has completely shifted. And we talked about this during the roundtable. It's that identity. Is my identity wrapped up in just being like as big as possible? I'm not trying to be as big as possible. So when people online are like, oh, dude, you're not that big. Like I'm bigger than 99% of people. I'm not trying to be the biggest person on the planet. I'm not trying to have muscles coming out my fucking eyeballs. That time is done for me. I still want to build muscle. I still want to train hard. I still love a sick pump. I still like to, have muscle shape and balance and aesthetics. I still like that in combination with mobility and all these other types of training. But, you have to change your approach to training. You have to shift your approach to training. And that's why following the 7 pillars is so powerful, because you see, we have recovery, mobility, mindfulness. Those things are much more important as you get older than just fucking lifting heavy. A lot of people are going to be banged up when they're 60 and 70. A lot of people are going to be banged up because all they're focusing on is, their calorie number, not the quality of their foods and how much weight they lift. And they're going to be the ones that are fucked up, back pain, knee pain. I see this, I'm on TikTok, so I see these videos from like the GOAT of leg training, Tom Platz. And if you don't know his shit, he had the best legs in history of bodybuilding. And he used to do tons of knees over toes. He used to do proper hack squats on the machine. He used to do sissy squats. He did a ton of mobility. And I see everyone in the comments still saying like, oh my God, this is bad. My patellar tendon, my knee, oh man, that would blow my fucking knees out. It's because you have shit mobility. You have garbage fucking mobility. One of my favorite exercises is the classic hack squat with a barbell. And you do it on the balls of your feet. You do it with your heels up. It's essentially like an elevated heel squat. It's just much more balance and stability. Fantastic fucking exercise. Just people have no fucking idea about what is good for the human body. Most people have no fucking idea. And still today, of course it would blow your fucking knees out. Of course it'll blow your fucking knees out because you have terrible joint mobility and joint integrity. No shit will blow your knees out. You're not in as good shape as you think. All right. We'll take maybe one more question. Let's see. I'm scrolling up. Might have missed a couple here. We talked about the centenarians. Very good. Very good. Rob Lopez, Papa Swolio, how's everyone doing in this beautiful Sunday? We are doing...
He's on fire!
We are doing well. Thank you for asking, Rob. Thank you for asking. By the way, Beaches, how many of you are subscribed to the Swolenormous audio experience? I posted a brand new episode. We got 4 podcasts, by the way. We got the Daily Swole, Red, White, and Swole, Swolenormous Procast, and the Swolenormous audio experience. So I decided, because that pops up in search all the time when people type in Swolenormous, I haven't updated that in almost a year. So there's going to be a lot more. Going to be putting the Swolosophy episodes and stuff over there. So make sure you check out the other podcasts, Swolenormous audio experience, Red, White, and Swole, and the Swolenormous Procast. Going to be executing on those a lot more, simple recordings, but making sure we get content on those other podcasts. That way you can listen to the content of your choosing. So go and check out that podcast as well, Swolenormous Audio Experience. Brand new episode dropped yesterday, or brand new Swolosophy dropped yesterday on that channel or on that podcast. Go check it out. The real OGs will know. Eric, Papa Swolio, is it all right to do mobility, yoga, or stretching on soft grass rather than a solid surface? Fuck yeah, it's great. You're supposed to walk on grass. Absolutely. Go walk on grass. Go get your bare feet on grass too. Don't be wearing shoes in the fucking grass. Go out there and walk on grass. Good for you. Ah, great. Jeremy, I saw there was a new audio experience. I've been binging them at work. Great little nugs of truth. Don't sleep on it. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Thank you. Look at that fucking shirt. Look at that shirt in your fucking picture. I love it. I love it. Awesome, dude. I love it. Yeah, I didn't post on that for a while. I didn't post on that for a while. And it's because we're focusing on the podcast and we're building a lot of stuff in X and there's a lot of things going on. But now, especially for members, make sure you subscribe over there as well. I was going to put a lot more of those philosophy episodes and stuff on the Daily Swole podcast. But the way I want to execute those other podcasts, it's going to be very simple audio recordings. That way I can get all of them up and going because, that's how we're going to do it. That's how we're going to do it. So you can expect a lot more content on all those different platforms. This is going to be very, very simple, straightforward. So if you enjoy Red, White, and Swole, the Swolenormous Procast, I'm going to have some new clips on the Procast. That way you can listen in, check those out as well. And remember, if you're a member, that's where we're getting a lot of this content from. So check out those Swole texts when I ask you a question about, and I sent out a message the other day or last week about, hey, going to be doing some new content for the Swolenormous Procast. What questions do you have? Because a lot of you have questions about creating online content or business or marketing and all these different things. And I can answer many or most of those questions or give you my opinions on them. So make sure you check out those Swole texts and respond. That way we can feature your question when I do new episodes. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Jeremy, not pictured since she's only 4'9". My wife is rocking her toxic muscularity tank too. That's fucking awesome. Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. I think, you know what? I think I have an image. I think I have an image here of, did I get rid of it? No, I didn't. I still have it. Oh my God. We haven't shown this for a while on the podcast. A lot of you are going to remember this image. All right. So we have these are the shows. So if you type in Swolenormous, obviously you can go and get you some podcast action. So if you're just listening, showing the images, this is what they look like. Check out the Procast, Red, White, and Swole. Check out all the podcasts over there on your favorite podcast app. Swolenormous Audio Experience, The Daily Swole, Red, White, and Swole, and the Swolenormous Procast. Ooh, that was nice. So you're going to like the audio experience. Audio experience will be very, very short, straightforward episodes. So go and check that out. And always trying to keep those things up and going. I almost deleted those other podcasts because I've been focusing so much. I almost integrated them all on the Daily Swole, but I kind of like having those different verticals. Love those podcasts. I do. I just haven't had I don't want to sit at my computer all day. I'm doing a lot of content and stuff outside. So I'm just changing how I'm recording some of those pieces of content because executing is the most important. Remember, fam, execute more. So just a little knowledge cock when it comes to creating content. Create content in the manner in which you're going to be able to create it the most effectively and efficiently. Don't worry about the camera quality. Don't worry about having you have to sit here with the whole mic set up and all that things and have the perfect audio. You need to be executing and providing value. So when it comes to those other podcasts, I don't want to sit here at the computer hours and hours and hours during the day. So a lot of those are just recorded simply on my phone, but they deliver the content, they deliver the value. So what's more important is that you're executing and then you can progress from there. And because I'm sitting enough in front of the computer when we're doing the live streams and editing and the podcasts and such, I've just been less likely to sit there and do Red, White, and Swole or do Procast because of just of the time constraints and the location constraints. But those podcasts are going to be leveled up just because I'm just going to execute. So use that as an example. Make sure you're putting in the work and executing rather than trying to perfect everything. A lot of people, when you're starting, you're focusing too much on, you're overthinking it when you're creating content, you're overthinking it when you're doing podcasting, or you're overthinking it when you're getting started. You're trying to do too much. You're trying to have too many things set up. You're trying to emulate someone who's been doing it for 6 years. So if you're trying to do content like me from the start, that's not the way you should be doing it. You need to be executing. You need to be starting. If you're trying to do it like your favorite streamer or your favorite podcaster, it's like you're not there yet. Go back to the earlier episodes of anyone that just starts doing podcasting and shit. It's always rough around the edges. It's always going to be like background noise or echo, or it's going to be dragging. It's not going to be as tight. It's not going to be as, but they started. The important thing is to start, and you get better as you go. Just make sure you start. Make sure you start. Don't try to overthink. Don't think too much. Start doing, start taking action, and then refine. Same thing with the gym. Same thing with the 7 pillars. Is it going to be perfect? What is perfect? It's not supposed to be perfect. The point is you're doing, you're executing, and then you refine as you go forward. That being said, there's a little tainty boy. Let's give away today's Swole card. Awesome job today, everyone. A little America at the buzzer. Remember, we got our Swole Fam accountability meeting tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern time, so you will not see us here on the live stream. You'll have to join us over in swolenormousx.com. Join the fam today and get access to all of our weekly amazing, absolutely fan-fucking-tastic live streams, including tomorrow, every single Monday, 12 noon Eastern time. Join us. swolenormousx.com. Here we go. We got a little Swole card to give away. All right, we got a winner. Swole privilege goes to TJ Helms. Congratulations. Oh, my goodness. TJ, congratulations. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. Swole card 2263 in the subject, your mailing address in the body of the email. Oh, congratulations. And reminder, during tomorrow's accountability meeting, we give away a mystery card. So you don't know what you're going to get until it shows up on your doorstep. So don't miss out on tomorrow's mystery card. Join the fam today. swolenormousx.com. We'll take some soundboard requests. Let's nut this beach. Congratulations, TJ.
The more you hate me, the more you will learn.
You can be fat and be healthy. I'm sorry, Lizzo, healthier than I will ever be.
Good questions today, beaches. And some boner questions. Some were like, meh. Some questions were meh. But good questions overall. Good job, Swole fam. You're crushing it.
Emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
You motivate me heavy.
Oh, it's a tainty man. You're so tainty. Tainty boy. That's a tainty boy. Good boy. That's a tainty boy.
Come on, man.
First, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face.
Oh, you can Dodson. Dodson, we've got Dodson here.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Fucking nailed it.
Hi, Miss Greg. Could you milk me?
That Hansel's so hot right now.
My name's Forrest Gump.
60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Eat shit, Derek.
A jelly donut. Loud noises.
I will rain down on a godly fucking firestorm upon you.
Oh, baby.
No more shenanigans, no more tomfoolery, no more ballyhoo.
Well, I could be wrong, but I believe diversity is an old wooden ship that was used during the Civil War era.
Go make some gains, Beaches. Go make some gains. No hands. Papa, no hands. It's a piano cock. All right, Beaches, thank you so much for being here for the Red, White, and Swole Sunday Funday Q&A-ness. Reminder, join the Swole fam right now because tomorrow we have our weekly accountability meeting at 12 noon Eastern time, so the episode will be private. Join the fam today. Be there for the live call. Best way to start your week is with some Swole fam action. So make sure you're joining over there. SwoleNormusX.com. Reminder, use code GTTFG to save $20 off your unlimited sign-up for a limited time. GTTFG at checkout for unlimited memberships. And we will see you tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern time. Members, peace, McGee's, deuce, Magoose, your boy Papa Swolio.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808s, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock's crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like
yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack, couple hundred in the Louis bag.
That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. That's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, yeah. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant. On topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and making new deposits. I'm in my